Hello and welcome to Graceful Connections, presented by Academy for the Soul. I'm your host, Sophie Vidar, and the co-creator of Graceful Connections, together with Christel Hughes, founder of Academy for the Soul, the online school for intuitive arts. Graceful Connections is an adventure of exploration, discovery, healing, liberation, growth, and truthful expression, which is facilitated, amplified, magnified, and blessed really with grace. Because all of our gatherings are held in the orb of grace, which is what brings forth these graceful connections. They are woven between you and our expert speakers, your graceful guides into the new dimensional earth. Graceful connections woven between you and their talents, their wisdom, their expertise, between your questions and their inspired answers, your needs and their masterful responses. But also between various aspects of yourself that may be or feel, for whatever reason, disconnected, fragmented, separated. Allow grace to infuse these areas and aspects and connections, to elevate them to a higher vibration and bring harmony, catalysis, realignments into a higher order, a natural order, the divine order. The order of grace is the divine order. So let's begin. I invite you to relax, take a few deep breaths. Breathing out all that does not belong to this moment. Let's bring all of your attention, all of your presence here and now. We set our intention that our time together, all that is shared in words and beyond the words, all the energies that we call in and flow serve our highest good, our evolution, and be of service to the highest good of all. You can decide to open your heart and be ready to receive. You can decide to open your mind and be ready to receive. Remembering your connection to the center, to the heart of the earth, and your connection to the center, to the heart of the universe. So that you are held, both grounded and suspended. You are safe, you can relax. You are ready and open to receive. Now I'm calling an orb of grace from the heart of the universe. And placing this orb of grace around our group, our gathering. And each and every one of us, that we be held in grace and infused with grace all along our time together. Let's take a moment to adjust to the purity and to the subtle high frequency of grace, allowing it to gracefully dissolve, realign, harmonize, amplify, magnify all that needs to be so in purest alignment with divine will and the divine order of grace. And breathe. Beautiful. Now, within the Orb of Grace, I'm delighted to welcome our expert speaker, the wonderful Lauren Galey, and her heartfelt invitation to ignite your passion matrix with the Lemurian Heart Temple. That sounds fascinating. Let me introduce Lauren for those of you who don't know her. Lauren Galey is on a mission to empower New Earth leaders. She's the New Earth Mentor's mentor, assisting those who are ready to step into their planetary role, their divine role, and get their product, their service out to the world. We live in a digital age, and Lauren has successfully been operating her online business for over 15 years. As a former radio and television journalist and anchor, Lauren was trained in mainstream media and now uses the many tools of media production in support of New Earth Media. She's a sound healing audio producer, creator of plant music remedy, music of the plants. And she hosts, of course, the popular global podcast Quantum Conversations and Quantum Conversations TV, QCTV. So she's usually the one hosting and welcoming guest speakers, but today we switch the roles, and it's so wonderful to have you with us as a guest, Lauren. Welcome.
Sophie, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here and wonderful to be with everyone who's watching and listening. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being with us. Yes. And so, everyone, Lauren is going to share her expertise about playing and expressing in the new dimensional earth by doing what you love. Yes. Lauren will also lead you on a passion remembrance guided journey to discover a past life skill and a passion for this life. You will journey into your heart center and meet your higher self to be shown a past life of doing what you love. So that's for today. And on Friday, June the 2nd, we'll gather again with Lauren for an Intuitive Readings Galore live call. She'll answer your question, what is my soul path number and how does it help me do what I love? Now, for the moment, let's tap into your brilliant wisdom, Lauren. And I'd like to begin with asking you, what is your story of awakening? Would you share with us how and what was it like for you?
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, my story of awakening was one of a long journey in my life. It was a little bit along the way, beginning with a mission to help the planet by media, but also that came after I really loved singing. As a child, I loved to sing. That was something that made me so happy. I would sing to my bunny rabbit. I would sing the commercials on the TV. When I had a tape recorder, the little tape recorder, I would tape Elvis Presley and make my own Elvis Presley tapes. And I just loved that so much. But when I got that tape recorder, I recorded myself singing. I was really shocked, flabbergasted to realize, wow, I'm not a singer.
So that was not your career path after all.
No, it wasn't. Although I have taken singing lessons thanks to my husband. Anyway, I brought that passion back online with a little bit of professional training. But what it awoke in me was this love for sound and love for toning. I know what this is now. And I've got miraculous stories about toning with animals that have literally, like birds, several stories with birds. They hit a window and we think that they're gone, or my cat will bring one in and we think that it's gone, but I'll tone to it and it brings it back to life. So that was a skill that's part of what I'm going to share today about we have to follow these little breadcrumbs of our skills and doing what we love. So when I was a little girl, I really loved that, but the tape recorder was my best friend. And so I would go around and interview my family members, my uncle, my cousins, and tape record Elvis Presley on the TV and all of this good stuff. So I realized, wow, I will someday use this skill. And back in the day when I was going to elementary school, we were concerned about the threat of nuclear war. And that to me, see, I'm going to cry just because of the feeling that that puts into people. But that feeling really lit something within me. It made me realize that I'm here to assist in that journey some way. So here I was 8 years old and I realized, wow, all right, I'm going to be a reporter. I'm going to be a news reporter. So I put all of my energy into that. And wow, yes, I did. I became a news reporter. I moved to Taiwan. I worked at an ICRT English speaking radio station. I found my voice there, which that's a whole different story. Finding our authentic voice through the Heart Center, I witnessed was really, really powerful. And even the voice coach I was working with at the time, he was like, you did it, you got it, that was it. But it came from an episode of being a little bit of angry in a little bit, because here I was, it was in the first Iraq war in 1991, and I was the anchor for my newscast at the radio station. But when the first Scud missiles came into Iraq, I was booted out of the anchor chair by the men who said, nope, get out, it's our turn. I was only 23 years old at the time, so I can see where, yes, all right, let's leave it to the big guns. So when I finally got able to sit down in that anchor chair and do my stories of this news in the world, I had that voice like, I got this. And so it's really beautiful because it was such a resonance within me. It was really heart-centered and it was really caring. Yes, it was the news and it was something really heavy, but my heart of caring for the masses is what really brought that forward. So that was another awakening session for me. And then when I got into television, so radio is one thing, because you don't have looks, you don't have your hair, you don't have your clothes, you don't have any of that. It's solely your voice. And television, because of all those other elements, brings in a whole bunch of other, what do I want to say, characteristics that I really, it was very challenging for me because, you know, I was really shy, and here I am in television news. And also the big thing about television is in radio, it's one thing. Television is a whole step up with ego. So human egos were really expressed giantly in the television news world. And so when I was in the television news, I didn't want to put myself on camera. And here I was being asked to sit on the anchor desk and anchor. And it was just a very interesting situation. And now that I'm all through it, I'm very grateful for it. But the ego aspect of it, watching other reporters simply go for their resume tape and say things, use words that would get the emotions going in people based on their words and based on their desire to build a really good resume tape for their next job. That was something that with deep within me, I just had a challenge with. It was like, it's just not right. So sadly, I think that was a dark night of the soul. I had just gotten married and I realized this is not for me anymore. And it was interesting because my husband married me because he fell in love with that kind of that celebrity radio star, whatever.
So you did it just enough to get the husband.
Yeah, that was very interesting, but we're still together. We're best friends. And so that's a journey of itself. And it's beautiful. And he has supported me all along the way in my whole awakening process. So as I went out into the world, I went into sales, and my first spiritual teacher was Deepak Chopra. I had the cassette tape, that's cassette tapes, the big cassette tapes called Higher Self, Your Higher Self. And that was really another deep anchoring into an awakening process for me, because it made me realize that we totally are in control of our reality, and that we're not going to be victims to circumstance. So here I was, I left the media world, which was my dream job. And this is really what I teach with people when we meet. Where do we give up our dreams? We do give up our dreams, but yet we can bring it back around on our terms. And so it took me another, how many years did it take me? When I left the media business, I went into business for myself, because I'm a one, numerology wise. My soul path is a one. And that was another part of my journey. When I realized that, I realized this girl ain't working for anybody else.
She's her own.
And that's part of the soul path numbers, is that those are all indicators for us. So I went out on my own. My husband and I joined together, and we did a business together, and we adopted a child at birth from South Korea. He just graduated from college. And so it was a beautiful journey, but because of poverty consciousness within me, we went through an episode of bankruptcy where I was not in control, and his family came in to give us legal advice, and all of a sudden we were bankrupt. And that was absolutely something that took me totally to my knees and shook me to my core. And I realize now that that was my journey here. Some people's journey, it's relationships, some it's money, money. And so liberating myself from that has been a beautiful journey. Anybody can do it. This is another thing that I'm really strong and convicted about, is that poverty consciousness needs to turn into wealth consciousness, and anybody can do it. We just simply shift our energy for it. So that was beautiful. So when we went through that episode, and I'm sitting on my porch of a rental house, we had a house that we sold. We got to keep the proceeds from that house through the bankruptcy proceedings. So that was like a little nest egg that I said, this is it. This is where you get to decide totally what we're doing. And I went to work for a couple more people after that, very short-lived, 6 weeks here, maybe 3 months there, very short-lived. And then checking into myself, just not being happy, driving to work every day through a really industrial area. And my little 2-year-old son was at home. And I just said, this is not what I signed up for. Why am I here? Why did I do this? And then I saw the movie, What the Bleep Do We Know? There were 2 movies, popular ones. The Secret, that was a big shaker-upper for many of us.
Right.
Elementary school, I would say, kindergarten for many of the light bearers out there. But then What the Bleep Do We Know? That was very transformational, because I saw that movie on a girls' trip. I came home from that trip and I quit my job, and I've never worked for another person before. It's been all on my own from that. So those were really incredible awakening experiences. But it was this experience of losing it all and having to start from ground zero, that I took inventory of my life. I took inventory of what I love to do. I took inventory of all my skills. I took inventory of what I got awards for, even in 3rd grade. I took inventory of the skills that I brought to the businesses that I worked at. And then I had this huge, big pad of paper, and I started to see, wow, this is it. I've got it. I can do it. And I started to weave together things that I could do right now, right here, with these skills. And that's where I am here today in Newark Network, and which has expanded. That was another expansion in 2015. That idea came. It took me 5 years to get that out. And I guess I'm saying this because of what we're doing here in our own journey to discover ourselves and make ourselves better. We can now turn around as wonderful guides to help other people do this. And they don't have to spend the time that it took, the years that it took in doing so. We can really help them accelerate. And so I started with voiceovers. I knew how to build a website, and I had my audio production software, and I just did it. And I just created my own little audio tape. When I was in the media world, I would get asked to do voiceovers for the television commercials and things like this, radio shows. And so then out on my own, I just said, hey, I'm going to do this. And then that expanded because other people who do voiceovers came to me and they said, I speak Spanish, or I speak Arabian, or this and French. And so then it became an international voice studio. And I did that for a couple of years, which was one little anchor, but it was many other little things that kept me going. I also taught aerobics, group fitness for 25 years. And that is one thing that I didn't do it for money. I did it for the joy. Getting up and moving and dancing with music, it brings me such passion. I still do it today. I have a baton and I do that too. But I'm saying this as part of the puzzle that we just start doing what we love. We just do it regardless of the money. Because in the old paradigm, the program was, how am I going to make money? What am I going to do to make money? Well, with I call this a passion matrix. And the Lemurian heart part of it is this love of the heart, the temple of our heart, that we know what we know within us. I'm going to cry again, because when we truly experience that joy and that love, it is undeniable. And so this is where we follow those little feelings of joy, the threads of joy. And that is what the audio production gave me. But then it expanded. So here I was, not making that much money, but on my own. And projects would come to me. I promise you, my mother transitioned in the middle of this. And I was given this gift. I was given the gift of a couple of beautiful people in my life, and it was all her from the other side. I got this incredible voiceover job for the election community in Boulder, Colorado, where they wanted me to do their voiceover for the blind folks. I would say, elect Senator George, right? And so that was a gift from my mother. Meeting Kathy Mason, another spiritual light worker, she got me a job. And so it's just, there's a lot of these little stories, but we pay attention to the guidance and the love, and it kept me going. And these were the gifts. And so those gifts, because I took action on them, they expanded and they went outward. And the next thing I knew, I was at a spiritual, I've always loved metaphysics. So that, as I followed that joy and that passion and that interest and that curiosity, I found myself at a Master Kirel, Kahu Fred Sterling seminar in Las Vegas. And something within me just kicked into gear. And I went up to him after this conference and said, I want to interview you. He was my first healing conversation. And so healing conversations began because I felt it was necessary for me in my own journey to heal from that old paradigm, that old matrix. And it took a metaphysical turn. It took a spiritual turn. And then over the years healing, I've realized we're kind of done with the healing for now. Now it's going quantum, and quantum conversations. So this is the story of awakening for me. And am I there yet? No, I'm still growing. We're all still growing. But I think the key point is to always lead with the heart wide open and in charge. And learning how to listen to the heart has been an incredible journey, but it's more of a feeling of the heart, following the feeling of the heart. And so now I am on such a mission, especially in today's world. Here we are in 2023, and I've often wondered, do I need to teach discernment about the media? And I keep getting yes, 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 where I can explain this concept of fake news without politicized on one part, but there's things that are real that happened, like events that happen out there that TV cameras pick up on. Those are real. You can have a UFO that TV cameras see, and those are real. They may make it on the news, but then suddenly they disappear. That's because people, maybe it's the advertisers that do control a TV station. I've witnessed that in my life, being told not to do a story and being told to do a story. But in today's world with social media, okay, so you've got a lot of things. In the 90s, there was public relations. That was a whole area of the media that corporations began to infiltrate, buy the news. But now you've got social media and you've got untrained. I do want to say the word untrained, because there's a responsibility that we all have when we step forward to influence, to speak our mind. And so I'm not certain that everyone doing that is aware of those skills. And so now you've got social media, and it just has accelerated. And then you've got some of our beautiful light tribe who no longer wants to even pay attention to the mainstream news, where I'd like to say, read between the lines, because we can see many elements of New Earth already here. We can see it. We can see it in the short-lived articles that are there. Personally, I don't listen to television news. I really cannot stomach it, because I can feel the energy of the egos. I can see the energy of egos in the personalities in the news. And radio news, I think it's almost a dying breed. There's still like NPR. Those are beautiful programs. So I read the news. And even in today's world, I can see the bias. I can see the bias in every headline, no matter what newspaper I'm reading. It's quite sad, actually. So I think this is where, as humans, we can discern more. We need to discern more. And it comes to a feeling. It comes to rising above. And now I see why many light workers no longer peek at the news, because it's not good for our vibration. It's really not good for our vibration. But is there a way that we can do it to amplify our mission? I think that is the goal and the eye on the prize, to look into the news, to see where people need help, to see a little bit where the pain is, and then to come back to our own journey and go forward. And so Quantum Conversations is really what keeps me so energized and so going. And this is, in its subtle way, a way of change on our planet, a way to use the media in a most powerful way. And this is why I also teach Media Production 101, so that light bearers, light bringers, light workers can use this technology in a very powerful way, the way it is very powerful, to really open hearts and to bring our planet into this new dimensional earth, one of love, one of caring and compassion.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your journey. It's an amazing journey, I must say. And I love how all the way you've been so in tune as a child already, so in tune with the needs of the planet, the needs of the world, the needs of humanity. And your whole journey, I love that. Well, it's such an inspiration for so many of us, that you show us what is possible, right? You, as you say, shifting the poverty consciousness into wealth consciousness. Yes, it is possible. But I love also how you take a stand to, yes, be a way shower, definitely, but also to turn back and to transmit, to convey to others, to the next generation, to those right behind you, what you have learned and all that you have learned, so that they don't have to take so many years to learn themselves, but they can benefit from your expertise, and they can get to do their own thing, right? So I think that's very, very beautiful, and it really speaks to your heart, and we can hear and feel coming from the heart. You're also a very an embodiment of coming from the heart. We can feel it when you speak and when you get emotional, but also when you speak, and I do get chills of feeling where your heart is. So thank you for coming with your open heart, and you're inviting us to live our passion, doing what you love. And you do that, this invitation, you convey it with the passion matrix. So I'm intrigued. What is the passion matrix, Lorraine? And how did you come up with it? I think you have kind of mentioned it. It has filtered through a little bit, but let's get into that topic of the passion matrix now.
All right, so this is something that everyone can use because I've actually turned it around to some of my very dear friends, and they're doing great things now because of it. And so it really is this inventory that I talked about, this inventory of you, this inventory of your joy. And so if we take people can do this right now, we go deeper into it in the workshops that we do. But you just want to take a piece of paper, and I like a piece of paper with no lines. And what we're doing is we're creating on quadrants. So you could say in this quadrant, we're gonna go very 3D, and we're gonna list all of our third dimensional skills, all of our talents, all of the things we got accolades for. This could be anything, just list everything. You know, you want to be in a very quiet, calm, relaxed place when we're doing this. When I did it myself, you know, I was at rock bottom, and I did it sitting in the sun and just enjoying my day off. Unraveling from the 3D matrix is a challenge. I guess I can talk about that a little bit more. There's some guilt that comes in that says you should be doing this. And so for someone to sit down and really do this inventory, it's important to do it and not feel any guilt and just be really relaxed. So the one quadrant is all of that. You know, for me, it was, I got an award when I was in third grade. I wrote a little story, and I won the prize for that. So I wrote that down. You write down, you know, everything. I was also the rifle line sergeant, right? That's why I still twirl a baton today. It's not for anything or any person or any reason, but just my sheer joy. And some of these things we just do, even though we don't earn revenue or money from it, but it's all part of this matrix quadrants. So there's going to be 4 of them. So this first one here, you guys can add to it later, but it's all your skills. It's like when you take your first job and you come up with solutions in that job to make it better, to make the system better. That's an accolade. Write that down. It's even computer software, it's skills, it's all of those skills. Then the next quadrant, and it could be anywhere, but just kind of, and these don't have to be lined up in an order. It could be just little words all around in this little area. But this is what we did when we were 8 years old. Go back to that child of 8 years old. For me, what was it? I loved playing with my Barbie dolls. I loved riding my bicycle. I still love riding my bicycle. I loved dancing. I loved singing, although I couldn't sing. And then I went back and I saw myself with that recorder, that tape recorder. I walked around interviewing people. Look what I'm doing today. That is what keeps me going. So that one for me was huge. And so everyone's going to have their own little list of what they were doing when they were 8. When I've worked with people, people loved getting out in nature. They loved laying out and looking at the clouds. They loved playing in the water. These are all part of it, because as people begin to weave their matrix, these things come into play. So
Right.
everything's important. Then the next one is this little quadrant. We're going to do a process. This little quadrant of past life skills. And I even want to venture and say other life skills. I do hypnosis sessions for people, and I've learned it's not just past lives, it's other lives, it's off-planet lives, and it's even future lives. So when we do our process today, we're just going to get into a space through the Lemurian temple of the heart, and we're going to we're going to ask to be shown some skills. So that's a meditative process that you'll fill in after we do that exercise. Then the fourth quadrant is joy. Joy. What brings you joy? And I actually expand it. We could just say, what brings you joy? List 5 things. So everyone take a moment right now and just list 5 things that bring you joy. You'd be amazed how sometimes it's very easy and other times it's very challenging to come up with what brings us joy. For me, as I was at rock bottom with this process, it was hard. What brings me joy? I did say my bicycle, laughter. So then every night, as my husband and I were journeying through this episode together, we would turn on Seinfeld every night. We would watch Seinfeld just to laugh out loud. I can't tell you the importance of that. So that's part of this. So what brings you joy? And I'll say emotionally, what brings you joy? And physically, what brings you joy? Or not emotionally, but mentally. We could say mentally, what brings you joy? So laughter, those things. And just make a list of it, because those are really very key elements. So then once we have all of this down, then we can start to weave and we can start to say, wow, I'm going to do this because I love it. It brings me joy. Oh, and I've got this skill over here. So I'm going to use this skill over here, maybe to build a website or do marketing or to go network with people or whatever it takes with this little joy skill here. And then I was really good over here when I was 8 years old at interviewing and going around. So that for me is how I did mine. But it started with little nuggets of like, oh, the voiceover talent, that's so easy. Just start right there. But because I was following that joy and the passion, it expanded into other things. I had the freedom to expand it into other things. The freedom to expand into just randomly interviewing people. And that took years to go forward and expand from there. Then I would ask the universe, this is an interesting story. I asked the universe, how do I monetize my radio show? How do I allow it to support me? And I saw 3 different models, business models of 3 very beautiful role models in my life. Regina Meredith, Carrie Cassidy, and what's her beautiful name? She was the first telesummit woman. We all know her. Okay. Those 3 ladies were beautiful. The universe was giving me the answers. My angels were giving me the answers, but I was in my own way and I had a pity party and I threw my hands up in the air saying, they're already doing it. I should be able to do that. They're already doing it. And so a couple more years went by. I say wasted years. This is where we can come in as great guides for people to help them bust through and break through these things, because we don't have to waste our time with this anymore. But once I kept asking the universe and I kept seeing the same 3 things come up, the same 3 things, the models, the people, and I'd be like, hey. And then I went to Peru, 11-11-11. And I was activated in Peru. We did ceremony to Pachamama. We did ceremony to the ancestors, and I inserted my prayers. And these sacred sites do activate us. I don't know how, but maybe it's an alignment with, maybe it's a memory of our soul, an aspect of our soul going there. or maybe it was just the deep connection with Gaia. But when I returned from that trip, I was going through my regular routine. I interviewed Jim Self, beautiful teacher, spiritual teacher.
Mhm.
And I was in my same old cycle of the journalist cycle. You go interview someone right now, and you immediately turn it around that day and get it out. That's the television, radio news. Get it in, get it out. And
Mhm.
I'm doing this, and something said to me really loud, stop.
Mhm.
Inner guidance almost yelling at me.
Mhm.
And I stopped and I said, what? And I heard, slow down. And I saw it unravel. And I was shown the steps to take, just one little step like this, put one foot in front of the other right here, do it like this, just do it like this. And I just kept hearing trust. And I did. And that was the start of how I was able to begin growing my audience for the radio show with
Mhm.
using these marketing tools that I already knew about, that I was already using in helping another business partner get her real estate teaching off the ground. So I was just like, wow, incredible. And then another moment when I did this, it just came into more clarity of what I can be doing. So this passion matrix is what everybody can do, but it's a living entity. It will change.
Right. Yeah.
It'll change every week, if you will. And
Mhm.
then I gave myself 6-week challenges where it's time to just not to put any big goals out, but a 6-week challenge. I'd mark on my calendar every 6 weeks. Then I would turn around and look at what was accomplished in those 6 weeks. And that was very helpful as well. That was very helpful as well. And I still, to this day, I've got my big old chart over here. I've expanded to giant notebooks, unlined, and I put the dates on all of it. Because if you put the date on it, you can come and be accountable to yourself. When
Mhm.
New Earth One Network, and so I always sit and contemplate. And then I was in a process after Quantum Conversations was born. I was in a process with two beautiful, Susan Shumsky and San Ra, beautiful teachers who gave each two different techniques for meditation. But the next morning, I did both of those techniques in one meditation. And I got the glimpse of New Earth One Network. And I also got the glimpse of where I was stalling myself from not moving forward, feeling competition from another entity. And then I realized, oh, that's because I'm supposed to be doing something like that. So for me, and me being a 1 soul path number, it was really important to take charge and go forward with my plan. Now, others with their passion matrix, when we take the soul path number, that's important because we may not be a 1, we may be a 3, or we may be a 4, right? 1 through 9, there's only 9 numbers.
Mhm.
But each of those, it's a different characteristic, and not everyone's meant to be their own business owner. So what do we do in that case? And that's all the important stuff to weave into this. But that
Mhm.
is the passion matrix. And once we have this, we just begin, you always look at it and you can always start weaving it together. And then you just begin to take action, 1 foot in front of the other, and then do the 6-week challenge, the 6 weeks, and look back and see. And the key point is that we are not doing this for money. That's a program that we really have to deprogram from and reverse within ourselves, and to shift within ourselves. And then there's lots of money games that we can play to get over those
Mhm.
entanglements, as I like what you use all the time.
Entanglements, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
that's the routine, and it's really just that inventory for people.
Right. And so what I love is, as you just mentioned, taking action. I had the words taking action on my mind. I love how it provides such a frame for taking action. Also, it provides such a structure of putting things together, a structure for inspiration to flow into, right? It's like you have a container for the inspiration to come and to illuminate how things weave together, or where to put your attention, and how to do this in your own special way. So thank you for, well, you had to do it, as you said, when you were at rock bottom, but thank you for bringing it, based on your experience that really, you obviously you've turned it into an expertise. Thank you for bringing it to the world and bringing it to others now, so that it can be used, and it can, much more than used, it can be lived. I hear how you said that it's gonna grow, it's going to evolve. I see it as something very organic, and it's something that we live, right? Like we live in our passion matrix, if we choose to do so, obviously.
Yes, yes. And so some examples would be, some would say, well, that my husband always says this, that works for you, but not for me. All right, that's a discussion we should have. And we always do have it. But here's a few examples. So some would say, okay, well, I like dolphins. I like dolphins. How am I supposed to make money off dolphins? Well, first of all, we're not here to make money off dolphins. You're here
Right.
to do what you love. And so a girlfriend of mine, beautiful Michelle Anderson, she loves dolphins. And she just started doing what she loved. And that's putting people on a boat to go hang with the dolphins off Dana Point in California. And so she would do the dolphins. And that brought her so much joy. Then there was a point where it's like, okay, let's look at the mechanisms in place. You're doing this, you're out there, and people are gathering. Many people are coming for this. But now, how can you create this self-sustaining revenue share for yourself? How can you put a little pot out and help put something as an exchange back to you for this time that you're creating? It's a beautiful time that you're creating. And she made one small shift. Instead of having people go directly to the boat operator to pay their fee, she had them pay her, and she took a small margin. And then that became something that provided her with a reward for that experience. So we can do anything with this love of dolphins. And so then it expanded out to other venues that she created. And so that's just an example. Another one is, my girlfriend, she was a marine biologist. She works for NOAA. She retired from NOAA. But now, because of this, and she is a soul path of a 9. So she's a 9, and the 9s are good for nonprofits, humanitarian. And so she's a dive master. She's doing all this. She also loves sound. Her passion matrix was really diverse, like all of ours are. And now she is with a whale and dolphin healing school. She's certified in whale and dolphin healing sessions. She has sound bowls, and she's in Hawaii, and she just got a consignment, or what do you call that? Yes, a gig every Wednesday morning for sound healing whale meditations at a hotel with the tourists. And the bigger plan for her is to get out on boats herself. And she's got skills from marine biology, and she's already started a nonprofit, for humanitarian nonprofit, of how to replant corals in the ocean. So, and see, it's very diverse. She's a sound healer, whale and dolphin medicine, but she's got coral planting going on and nonprofits there. That will gel for her in her own way, but she's just doing it, starting one foot in front of the other and moving forward. So those are examples. If somebody likes surfing, this still works. You like surfing, but yet you're a people person. So get yourself to a trade show for surfing and go pick up some lines to go rep and be a sales rep at the surf shops for what you want, or skateboarding. See, it fits everything, but with the passion.
Yeah, putting the passion in the forefront, right? Yeah. Yeah, okay, got it. So
Yeah.
with that, you've created from obviously we can feel how passionate you are about the passion matrix, right? Because well, it's it's been inspired to you and it has led you to where you are and where you're heading forward, and you demonstrate that it works for others as well. So you've created, with your passion for the passion matrix, you've created a wonderful offering, Passion Up Your New Earth Business. So we'd love to hear all about it, Lauren. Everyone to follow you, just scroll down the page. And Lauren, please reveal what you have created for our audience.
Great, great, great. Okay, well, passion flow is the new cash flow. That's what I love to say here. And
Yes.
so we're going to talk all about this. We're going to, when we get together, we're going to do some deep work on our own passion matrix. And we're going to share, we're going to talk about it. So this is like a weekend, 2 days on a weekend, a Saturday and a Sunday. You got 2 hours the first day, 2 hours the second day. The 2 hours the first day is going to be doing that. It's going to be doing really the passion matrix, where we could be sharing a little bit with everyone. We will do a deeper meditation, which we're going to do right here as a little taster as well. But that is a beautiful start. The day one is a beautiful start to bring forward your own passion matrix and share it with others. When we are in a group setting like this, the ideas that other people have, other people on the outside can look and see, oh, you like hiking in the forest, but then you also do this. What about putting those two together into something totally new? So that's what's very exciting when we get together in this group level. So it's really a deep dive into building our own passion matrix, bringing it forth. And we'll do a very beautiful meditation in there as well to connect to our Lemurian heart temple, our higher self, to bring forward skills and gifts. When we do hypnosis, it is amazing how it works, where people are shown, whether they're shown mathematics or they're shown herbology, aromatherapy, these skills are part of us, and they deserve to be a part of our passion matrix because we're skilled at them. So that would be day one. And then day two is more of going into how we take action steps to make that work. And then this gets a little bit, I'd like to say fifth dimensional on a third dimensional model. So we take the third dimensional model of getting out there with our business, whether it's an online business or it's a product. Even if it's a product, it doesn't matter what form it takes, but how do we get that out into the world? How do we begin to take action steps? So we will cover marketing, the basic essentials that you need. So this gives us tools to move forward on our plan. And we also talk about how we can design our message so that people will listen, so that it will attract the right person. And what we're doing is we're not making it about ourselves. We're making it about the people who want our guidance. So that's what we talk about on day two, is how we can build our story brand, how we can build this service that we offer or this product that we offer that actually helps someone. It answers the pain that they're having. And we're the guide that can show them how to do that. So that's day two. And then the third session, it's a week later, is a question and answer session, because things are going to come up. And with the clarity that comes up over time, this is a great session just to get to all of those questions. And again, to get that support from the group and to get more ideas. And then if there's time, of course, there's always, always, always more marketing information that we can go into. Again, the essentials of what's needed for online and how you can use social media to attract. Social media is the traffic. YouTube is the new TV. Social media is the traffic. How do we use those? and then always an email system. So these are just the basics that definitely will be covered, and it gets us off to a great start. So that's the offer. And there's
that's
another
Ignite Your Passion Matrix, the live workshop on Zoom. That's on Zoom. It's a Zoom experience, right? So we get to work together, see each other, be together on the topic. Yeah, beautiful.
Yes, it's really beautiful. And then there's another option for those who want it. If those want, how do we find our voice? How do we find the heart voice? There is a workshop that we've done that is beautiful, and it helps people drop into the voice of their heart. This is where we need to speak in today's world. If everyone speaks from the voice of the heart, how beautiful would that be? So for those who want to learn more about that and the techniques there, then there's that option as well.
Right. Yeah, beautiful. I love that you've included this because, yes, as you say, speaking from the heart, and obviously here it's about you're bringing it in the context of business, but as we learn to speak from the heart, we're going to speak from the heart in life. We're not just going to keep this for business, obviously, right? So that's a way that the expression of the heart is going to spread, and that's very 5D. We can say very new earth, new dimensional earth. And I would suggest for everyone, unless you have already done significant work on your voice, and knowing to place your voice in your heart and to speak from your heart, unless you've done that already and have the results, I would really suggest you to get the full package with the Ignite Your Passion Matrix live workshop. That's actually a 2-session workshop plus Q&A Zoom experience, and the Find Your Authentic Voice workshop, because quality of your voice and your ability to authentically speak from your heart, it's really a game changer. If you're a practitioner, if you're a teacher, if you're a leader, a speaker, a channeler, and for life in general, obviously. So full package includes both Ignite Your Passion Matrix and Find Your Authentic Voice, or you can go for only the workshop, the Ignite Your Passion Matrix, which is in itself a double workshop plus the Q&A. So that's very generously priced with a 2-payment plan. So thank you so much for offering this, Lauren. It's a very beautiful offering. I love how you bring the passion, really bringing the passion at the forefront. And I'm getting the sense that this is for someone who wants to get started, who have a business idea maybe, or even someone who is totally at a loss about getting started, or someone who is stuck at the stage of being bored with their job or hating their job, right? Or lacking purpose, lacking meaning in life.
Yes.
Because of actually not living their true purpose, right?
Everyone, see, it's all that. There are some light bearers who know exactly what they want to do, but then they just need that little guidance, marketing. Maybe that's just it. So that then the passion matrix, it's just going to be something that will expand their idea even more. But then the rest of it's good for them. Then there's those who they feel the calling, as you said, they know they're supposed to do something, or they're in the 3D job. And I hear that on our show every day. People are like, I'm just ready to leave, but I don't know what to do. Well, this is how we do it. This is how we do it. This is how we liberate ourselves on a practical way and get going. And some people, you know, I was in a position where I could come home and quit my job. It was a challenge. I had a husband who had something come up in his life that was able to give me a little bit of the leeway. But then that changed on him, and then we were there together, sailing it together. And it's something that anybody can do, no matter where they are, no matter where they are. So if you're ready to, you know, maybe for some people, they do this on the side, they just start doing this and they keep one foot in that 3D corporate world if they want. And then they'll know when it's time to take that leap. I used the, what is it? The idea of a sailboat. For the longest time, I felt like I was on the dock. I was on the dock. I had my arm around the pole, but here's the sailboat of my dream drifting up, slowly drifting by. And there was a point where I had to let go of that post and jump onto that sailboat. And it slowly drifted away from the pier. And then I had to get my sea legs. I had to get my balance. And now we're sailing full steam ahead. So,
Yeah, beautiful. And you know what, one thing that I'm sensing as well is that for some of us, because of this entanglement again, right? Entanglement in the 3D world and having our heart elsewhere, but yet being still caught up in it, some may have been feel so disconnected with their passion that they have even lost track with it, that if you ask them what is your passion, well, I don't know, because it is there somewhere, but it is buried deep, right? Because it had to be suppressed.
yes,
And so it's beautiful. It's not only beautiful, but I feel the need for it, how you are there to reach out to everyone and extend a hand that is gonna help them and guide them and allow the passion to reveal itself, even when someone feels, well, I don't know, I have no clue, I don't have a passion, right?
yes, that's true. That's true because we're so numb. They've been so numbed down. Like,
Right.
right, what brings you joy? Some don't even know what brings them joy
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's enough to make me cry. But this is where we return to love, we return to the heart, and anybody can reawaken to this. Anybody
And
can.
reclaim it. Yes. Reclaim the joy, reclaim the passion. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for putting that together, walking or sailing your boat, right? And having taken that step or letting go of the mast and jumping into your own sailing boat and sailing it so wonderfully and in such an inspiring way, showing us that what is possible, and yeah, really inspiring, and offering it to everyone now to put passion and joy at the forefront. So how about to experience? You have mentioned an experience of, at least it's gonna be, yeah, I like to call it an appetizer of finding our skill, some of our skill, discovering a past life skill or another life skill, parallel life skill, galactic life skill, and a passion for this life. So you have a passion remembrance guided journey that you would like to offer. If now is a good time, I think it would be wonderful to experience.
Okay, beautiful. Let's do that now. And let's just all close our eyes and take a few deep breaths. We are really just getting into a relaxing space. And it's really good to first pay attention to where our thoughts are. If we're in the past or we're in our head a little bit about this conversation, let's just bring it all in wherever our energy is and bring that all down into our heart. And I'm calling this the Lemurian Heart Temple. The Lemurian heart, the pure heart, the temple of our heart. As we come into this space of our heart temple, just feel the breath inhaling and exhaling from this very, very sacred space. Allowing a few deep breaths. And so as we take these deep breaths, allow your body to relax. So if you're sitting down, just relax even more. You can lean back in your chair, or you can recline if that suits you. We are getting the body completely relaxed. And with every breath, you are more and more relaxed. You're letting go. You're breathing in the heart. So now in this very beautiful sacred space of the heart, I want you to look around at the surroundings of where this is. It could be a garden. It could be your favorite place on the planet, your favorite beautiful scene on the planet. You know this place because you've been here before. This is your place. So just take a look around and take this scene in. And you're breathing free and deep and you're letting go. And so now, in this most beautiful place, you're looking over ahead of you, and there's a temple. This is the temple of your heart. This is the Lemurian heart temple. This temple is yours. So take a moment and look at the features of this temple. As you draw closer to it, what do you see? What does it look like? Does it have a roof? Does it have walls? Does it have a door? Whatever it is, look at it. Notice the detail. This is your space. And so we're moving into this temple now. We're moving in to this Lemurian heart temple of you. And once you're inside, again, take a look around. Notice what you notice. What do the walls, if there are walls, what do they look like? What does the inside of this temple look like? Look down at your feet. What does that look like? And now I want you to look up. Look up at your temple. Look up at the temple and notice what you notice. What do you see? Is it infinite? This is your temple. This is your connection to all that is. So come and just sit and savor the frequency of this temple. Already we feel a shift. Already we feel a calmness. We feel a deep relaxation. Now, in the middle of this temple, there's a pedestal. And on this pedestal is a giant book. Right now, that book is closed, or it may be open for you, but we are seeing the pages moving back and forth, back and forth. And as you look at this pedestal, come a little bit closer to it. And there is a guide. This is your higher self. Take a moment and commune with your higher self, standing next to this giant book. Connect with the higher self. Ask the higher self of Loren, higher self of Sophie, higher self of say your name, higher self of say your name. Are you with me now? And listen. That connection is always with you. So we ask our higher self now to reveal on these pages a life with skill and joy, compassion and love, to reveal itself to us. See those pages now in the book. Look at the book. No matter what they look like, see those pages moving, flipping back and forth. And in 3, 2, 1, one page falls open and it reveals a life peer inside with the guidance of your higher self and let that image become more clear. I'm going to go into a few moments of silence as you commune with this image. The more that you can see the detail or notice one detail, maybe take a pen and write it down, or even speak it out loud. What is it that you see? If you speak it out loud, more will be revealed. So do this now. Let this image reveal itself to you. And we'll be in 90 seconds of silence. You can ask questions. See yourself living this. Feel the frequency of this skill, of this joy. Allow this to amplify. More clarity. No matter what you see, how much or how little, just take note and feel the frequency. You may also ask your higher self, what is it I need to know about this being revealed? Show me, tell me, let me feel. So now, holding this image, taking a few deep breaths in, exhaling, you're breathing this in. You may choose to write some notes down when we're complete or now. And with deep gratitude, turn to your higher self and offer a blessing of gratitude. You may also ask your higher self any other question. Do this now. Know that this connection with your higher self can grow stronger and deeper. And at any point, you can ask for more information. Ask for more to be revealed and return to this, even in the sleep state as you go to sleep or in your normal meditations. So now we are going to return to our waking consciousness, but we are still holding this image, this feeling, this vibration. So we're holding this as we are coming back into moving form. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes and come back fully now to your body and snap your fingers. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, Laura. And that was so amazing in that one of the things that I love that is the experience of how your voice really, you truly speak from the heart, right? And the quality of your voice makes it so easy to get in the heart and makes it so easy for insights to come through. So I love that in just those few minutes, I don't know how long the process lasted, but it's a few minutes, right? You gave us a taste of how you're such a special and perfect guide for us to explore our passion, our joy, yes, our past life skills, and how this quality of your voice makes such a difference. I really appreciate that you offered this experience. For me, I had an amazing insight that it totally blew my mind. Something that came in French, which is very unusual for me because I usually speak to myself in English. So when it came in French, I was like, oh, okay, what is that? It actually has meaning. It's something I need to explore more, not about the language itself, but there's something maybe in the French culture that I need to go and grab that I'm maybe not valuing enough, that I need to bring into what was revealed. So thank you so much for that. And it's very metaphoric. I received something very metaphoric, but very, at the same time, very concrete, very significant. So thank you for, I personally thank you. And thank you for everyone who got to experience this and for this very unique experience of being guided by your voice, the voice of the heart. It just makes the whole difference to the whole experience. Thank you so much, Lauren.
Well, thank you. And that is indicative of others and what they may feel and how more will be revealed from just this little glimpse. So that is something so beautiful. And I'm glad that you got something magical because your voice is very good too. Yes.
I've done a lot of work. I wish I had met you and had this discussion earlier because I've done a lot of work on my voice. I've done it on my own, really placing my voice from the heart. Had I known you and your offering, I would have fast tracked. But yeah, I know how it's more than significant. To me, it is essential. And I love to have the chance to experience it with you in this guided journey. So I can only imagine when in the workshop Ignite Your Passion matrix, with this element of how you're gonna guide everyone with your voice, it adds it adds a whole new dimension to what is being done. And when you said we start from 3D and we go into 5D, I feel that that's one of the ways you do it, through the vibrations of the heart that you bring through your voice.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. And
Thank
everyone
you.
this way. Yes, I see that world where everyone speaks that way. I don't
Yeah.
know if we still have politicians, but can you imagine if politicians spoke that way?
Well, eventually they will. Is it this generation of politicians or next generation or next? But I mean, that's where we're headed, and we'll get there eventually. The sooner the better. So let's roll out our sleeves and get to it. We obviously are already actively working on it. I'm sure everyone who is listening also has their heart on this direction, right? Looking at the compass and put the sailing boat in that direction. So even more so with your wonderful package, Lauren, Passion Up Your New Earth Business includes 2 workshops for the full package. You have Ignite Your Passion Matrix live workshop. It's 2 days. Zoom experience, 2 hours, two consecutive days, plus the Q&A, live Q&A as well, and you get the replays, obviously. And also, if you take the full package, the Find Your Authentic Voice workshop, it's a whole set of audio and video training online. And you can choose to go with the workshop itself, Ignite Your Passion Matrix on its own. And you get all the expert guidance and support you need to start living your soul's purpose, doing what you love, to start or to expand or to passion it up, right? Doing what you love, putting your passions, your talents, your joys to work. And really, work becomes play and an expression of your truth and of your essence. So thank you so much for offering this, Lauren. We're going to meet again. I love that you have touched a little bit, you have intrigued us about the soul path. And so on Friday, June the 2nd at 9 a.m. Pacific, we meet again with you, Lauren, for Intuitive Readings Galore. It's going to be a live call, and Lauren will answer your questions. What is my soul path number, and how does it help me do what I love? And if you can't attend the live call with Lauren, make sure to provide your birth date and request your intuitive reading in advance, and then you'll catch up with the replay to receive Lauren's insights and wisdom. That's going to be fascinating, I know, discovering our soul path number and how it invites us to play. So you're a 1, Lauren. You've touched a bit on the 1. There are all these other numbers, and what do they mean, and how do they invite us to live our passion? That's going to be fascinating. I can't wait. So, Lauren, is there any word of closing that you would like to offer for today?
Well, I just want to thank you, Sophie. What a beautiful platform you've created here, a beautiful gathering of people who are ready to offer their services to the planet, to live this light that we are, to be this purity that we are. It's so beautiful. And I really want to encourage everyone to hold the vision of New Earth, to hold the vision of them in New Earth, and to see it and believe in it and know it, and to be courageous in going forward with it. There's no more hiding. We won't be punished this time for speaking up in this lifetime. So we are here, and I see that world, and I see everyone's authenticity in this world, and it's hilarious. So thank you, Sophie. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, every person here watching and listening. You are a new earth leader. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. I love this message. Thank you. Yes. Let's take a moment to be present once again in the orb of grace as we absorb this message, all that we have received today, and this final message. And allowing the orb of grace to remain there, holding us, holding all that has been offered today. For as long as it serves our highest good, our evolution, and the highest good of all, allowing us to receive even more from what has been offered, to allow it to expand, to deepen itself, to reveal in more subtle ways in the next few hours and days. And holding us in grace as we do so. And I'm closing now with gratitude to each and every one of you in the audience. Thank you. Thank you for answering yes to the calling of grace, and answering yes to the invitation to passion up your business, your life, really. Bringing passion to the forefront, passion and joy and love, compassion. Gratitude to you, wonderful, heart-led mentor to the mentors, Laura and Galey, for all the wisdom, all the brilliance and the offerings you have gifted us today through all the graceful connections that have been woven with you and your masterful expertise. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
And gratitude to Christel Hughes and the Academy for the Soul for offering this platform in which graceful connections grow and expand, impacting our lives, our environment, and the world at large. Gratitude to the Orb of Grace for providing a safe, sacred space for this journey of exploration that we are engaged on. Gratitude for all the grace that we are blessed with at every moment, whether we're aware of it or not. It is offering nourishment, nurturing, healing, revelations and realizations that we open our hearts to receive all along this journey. Gratitude to our higher selves and all the beings, the higher beings that guide, support, and protect us. And gratitude to the divine. Thank you. Until we meet again, thank you, Lauren. Thank you, everyone. Many blessings to all of you. And goodbye now.